Have you hugged a Reitman? Wagered a podcast bet? Toasted to friends at Clover Pine? Prove it all to your friends with Crossrip merch available now in the gift shop. T-shirts, hats, mugs, stickers, and a whole lot more. Your purchase supports the show and keeps us running. Go to Ghostbusters HQ/shop to get yours today. I like that shirt, friend.
This week on the program, Chris and I are back together once again for another great chat. We're going to be catching up on trailer, the aftermath. 1 week later, we'll be talking about our thoughts to date. We'll be talking about toy news. We've got some Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack news. We're going to be talking about Adam Savage's behind-the-scenes tested show that was announced. Very cool stuff. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
Still Playing with Toys presents the Ghostbusters Interdimensional Crossrip, the biggest podcast since 1909.
So great.
News, interviews, and commentary on everything Ghostbusters.
Are you the key master?
Here are your hosts, Troy Benjamin and Chris Stewart.
You know, it's just occurred to me we really haven't had a completely successful test of this equipment.
Oh, we have fun. Woo!
Hey, Ghostbusters. We weren't supposed to start this way, I don't think.
No, we weren't.
All.
You know what's funny is that you and I mean, we talked on the Yes Have Some live stream, but we haven't had a chance to catch up, and I've kind of, like, this has been the mile marker in the sand where I'm like, yeah, this is where we're going to be able to catch up and talk about all these things. And then, of course, our doom and gloom kicks things off and just really gets us
cut it all out. Yeah. Just cut out the doom and gloom.
Nobody ever hears the doom and gloom. I always start on like the, hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast.
Well, everybody just needs to hold on to certain feelings happening right now, and then the winter will be upon us. And we'll forget how weird the summer was in a lot of ways. But at that point, we need to tap back into those feelings and maybe start asking around, is there something we can do?
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do?
Winter is coming.
Winter's coming. But
yeah.
So much Ghostbusters.
So much Ghostbusters. So hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the podcast. Chris and I are back together again after 6 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't know. It's been a long while.
5, I think.
And again,
not counting Yes Have Some.
Not counting the Yes Have Some, but it's tough for United to have a one-on-one conversation when we're on a round table. But
other people won't. Well, you listeners, dear listeners, will not have known this because we reran some cross promotions with Mr. Ross May and the Frog Bros, and then Yes Have Some. So, I mean, frankly, and then you popped up by yourself. I mean, really, does anybody notice that we've taken a break?
And then I babbled about Ted Lasso for 45 minutes, and some people really liked it, and some people really, really didn't like it. I got it. Well, I got the hint.
Whatever.
But yeah. But yes, regardless of all of that, we do have tons and tons of stuff to talk about. We have new news. We are going to talk about the trailer. We are going to talk about the Adam Savage video, which I'm very excited to talk about. Plenty to dive into. So we're going to call it the news segment, even though it's going to be a kind of free-for-all. So here we go with the news, and then free-for-all.
Hang on, Peter. I have some news from the world of Gozer.
I got some pretty cool stuff cooking up over here if you want to turn your head.
Multiplanar Curlian emanation.
Yeah, well, here's your next month's cover of GQ. Check out the aura on this sucker.
I think next time when we say we're going to take a week off, and you say to yourself, I'll cover it, and I'll just kind of wing it some stuff. If people are giving you a hard time from this last time, maybe you just upload 45 minutes that starts with like the national anthem sign off from Poltergeist, and then immediately goes to white noise and a dial tone for 45 minutes.
For 45 minutes. Yeah, or air the Clamp Industries thing from Gremlins 2 that's like, we hope that you've enjoyed this thing called life.
How dare you provide free listening?
I thought I was onto something. I had a couple of people who I know and I respect say, oh my God, I loved what you were saying. And then I had a couple of people who I know and respect be like, dude, I have no idea what the hell you were talking about. So it's fine.
Whatever.
But
listen, you either get Ted Lasso or you don't.
You
and
either
if you
get it
don't,
or you don't. Yeah.
we're keeping an eye on you. You know what I mean?
I'm skeptical of you at this point, but so let's dive into. So obviously we're a week away now from the trailer release that we talked to our Yes Have Some Friends with on the Tuesday stream. I've watched it now probably a good 24 times, I want to say, and not counting all of the times I sat like the Zapruder film and did stuff for my breakdown when it first came out.
Right.
It just brings me so much joy, and it brings me so much. I think Ben Schwartz on his Twitter said that it made his heart smile, and I felt like, yeah, man, that's exactly how I need to explain that to people. It just feels like it made my heart smile. How are you feeling about this trailer a week afterwards?
We've talked about this before. I am excellent at compartmentalizing. Partially out of I got other things I need to focus my brain on, and I don't multitask like that sort of stuff very well. I have to compartmentalize, or I fixate on it. So I can't do that. I got stuff I got to take care of. And the other part is it's handy. It's multi-purpose handy because this is the same mechanism, for example, whereby I can pick up comics in the middle of a run and just kind of run with it. And that kind of translates over to like shows and all that.
Sure.
They're like, you're behind. I'm like, I'll catch up, right? Like I can watch things out of order, all these things. I can kind of just sort of compartmentalize. I can silo parts of my life. And frankly, like a week or so after talking to the Yes Have Some kids, I just kind of put it aside. It's very, very cool. And every time I do stop and kind of think about bits of it, I get the little butterflies, and then, I enjoy it for a few minutes, and then I put it away. So if I do this right, I'm going to be able to go into the theater, I think, and like it's just... Or the final trailer. I think, there'll be a final trailer, right? Probably... October? They'll release that I think there final trailer.
Somewhere around Halloween there will be that one. And we talked about it on the live stream, so I don't want to tread too much ground, but I feel like that's the one that's going to give away just that one little thing too much that you're like, oh, shoot, I wish I would have not seen that until my butt was in the seat in the theater a month from now. So,
now that you brought that up, I have small bits of doubt. But the point is if I do it right, I think I'm going to get... maximum punch. You may have noticed I've often been out of step with fans when it comes to things to focus in on, like when the teaser came out, and that was very exciting as a start. We all kind of shared that. And then later on, as stuff started to roll out, I can't remember exactly what point that might have been or whatever, but everybody was just still talking about getting excited about the movie, and that was the bit where I was like, we have a lot of emotional baggage that's going to, like...
It's going to take a lot to unwind this here.
Well, I'm at that point where everybody's like excited for the movie and all this, and everybody's now talking about, Janine, seeing Janine, and references to Egon and all this, and it's gonna be hard. And I was like, I'm past that. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I am ready for this.
Yeah.
I am ready for the catharsis of what happened to Egon. Like, let's tell me what happened.
And you still have a long way to go. I mean, it's not that long in the scheme of things, especially after the last couple of years everybody's had. It doesn't seem like it's that far away.
It's going to be a blink of an eye. GB Max does the countdown. We're at 100 days. As of this recording, we're 100 days.
Yeah, which is a far cry from where it was. Again, this is all, we'll put the asterisk next to it, pending Delta Plus, any of those other Lambda variants. Blah, blah, but
I'm keeping an eye on that, and that's starting to piss me off.
Force majeure withstanding. This movie should be
compartmentalizing that right now. Here's the thing. You, without belaboring the point that we're dads. Hey, everybody, we're dads. Hazel is much younger than Thomas. Half Thomas's age, roughly, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Something like that. So she hasn't kicked off with school and all that. So what I'm telling you now is I'm heading into August. I got the last of the summer stuff, as well as work. It's going to go by pretty quick. Like once you're in the last month of summer, especially when you have an older kid, or any kid really, that you kind of count the time. And once you're in that final, it's like Sunday, right? Friday evenings and Saturdays are great, and then Sundays kind of just blow past. And you're like, Monday. Like, so August is going to go real quick. You got a kid.
August is going to be a Monday. Okay, we got that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, September technically. By this analogy, September will be Monday. August is Sunday. August is the Sunday of the soul. Oh, these are the worst Jack Handyisms ever. But September is Sunday and beyond, whatever you want to say, Monday and beyond. But my point is I got a kid, right? So I got to get him into school. That's going to eat. His birthday's in the middle of it. That's going to, you know what I mean? Like, I got so many mini milestones, you know, and then once we get to, you know, September and school is locked in, October's going to hit. And then at that point, you know, Halloween's coming up, Thanksgiving here in Canada's coming up. I got a kid that needs a costume. That's like, again, just these mini milestones that the weeks are just going to, 100 days for me is going to happen in a blink of an eye. So anybody out there that's feeling like it's a slow drag,
just go have kids.
Find that special somebody and have a kid. But I don't know.
You know, the good news is that trailer gives us enough to sort of crunch on. I've really enjoyed lurking on the GB fans message board, seeing people, you know, dissecting things, seeing the same jars from Ghostbusters 2 still sitting on the Ray's Occult desk, you know, that had the psychomagnotheric slime in them. There's plenty there for us to sort of just pour over each and every tiny detail and start to speculate in our brains, and then also remember that you don't want to get certain things in your brain, because then you have expectations of certain things that you probably will not see on screen. So you got to be careful. But yeah, I don't know, Chris, it's so heartening. Not only that, because somebody on our Twitter feed said that it was nice to see a sprinkling of original recipe Ghostbusters, and that really made me satisfied to know that this is going to some way, somehow try to tap back into that lightning in a bottle of the original film. So it's good. It's like, if you were worried about certain things, if you were worried if it was going to hold up to the original films, you can now kind of take a deep breath. You can have that weight off of your shoulders, and you can enjoy it. And then as a fan, start looking at, hey, take a look at the PKE meter. It looks like it's weathered and metal, and it looks like all of these things have happened to it. We'll get to something that I know people are like doing some crazy Blade Runner enhancements on in a second here in Adam Savage's video, but it's fun to see this discourse. It's fun to see everybody kind of enjoying something again. It's so easy to ignore all of the sort of cynicism and negativity, and I feel like this is kind of a blessing. Knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it, but like compared to what we went through a few years ago with Answer the Call, like it's just sort of like I don't feel the need to engage. Like, all right, you don't like it, great. I don't care. Like I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cantankerous, so every once in a while I can't help but like do a social media.
They know what they're doing.
WTF. Yeah. But yeah, like at a certain point, I think most of it, like I've made a couple. Let's put it this way: I treat everything as a blind item. It's usually a specific somebody that says something, and it sets me off. But I never go at them direct. But usually it's because they are also like talking like a lot of other people, and it just really gets my goat. So I make some blind item statement, and then it's the same problem as before. It's a multi-headed hydra. Like 16 people come at me and then talk at me like I'm only talking to them. Half of them like took it like I was talking to them, never mentioned them.
Yeah.
They then phrase their response to a problem like something I never said, basically. Like they came in with a problem in their head to respond to.
That's the internet. They're just looking for the fight at that point. Yeah.
And like I just had to like, yeah, it's easier this time to just go, oh, I remember this. Well, and it's like shouting at the ocean. This is stupid.
It's totally futile. And also the response to, like, I know a lot of people were kind of digging into finding a need to respond to well, why isn't this a comedy? I thought this movie was supposed to be funny.
That one baffled me, yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is that those comments were few and far between, but the response was bigger than it. So, I saw maybe like 3 people say that, but the response to the like, I thought, here's what this movie is. It's a genre. There was a whole discussion about the genre of Ghostbusters, and it's like, guys, calm down. It was like Heather Ann Campbell, I think, said it jokingly, and it became this whole thing. But anyway, so
somebody else was like, Ghostbusters is horror first, comedy second, and this one's none of that. And I was like, I checked the AFI; they got it listed under comedy fantasy.
But at the same time, it is a horror comedy. But it's like it does bend genres, and that's why we love it so damn much. Is because it doesn't feel the need to lean in one direction more than the other. And
well, here's the thing. I don't know why. Oh, God, what's the number one complaint? And to be honest, a tongue-in-cheek complaint, because we all love Ghostbusters 2. And if you're somebody out there who doesn't, don't at me. I don't care. The number one biggest, gentle complaint about Ghostbusters 2 is it tried to recreate 1. Yeah. So now all of a sudden we got a third one, and they're like, why isn't it like 1? It's like, has everybody forgotten, for example, how wildly successful Aliens was because it didn't try to be Alien?
It didn't try to, right? Exactly.
Alien is a straight up, jump scare horror movie in space. Awesome. And then Aliens, he went, I'm just going to do action. And we loved that too. I don't know. This is the other thing, too. We get 35 years down the line. If they had tried to do just a straight-up comedy, that's a lot of time to do a comedy and then not address the elephant in the room. Like, that's the thing everybo's got to remember. And it's why I think Jason's approach to this is genius. Everybody's like, one's about family. Not about first one's not about family. It's like,
what's with all this lore and world building? And it's like,
you forget that for 35 years, you loved the hell out of every character in this thing, and one of them is noticeably missing. We have to deal with that. You have to
explain it. Sure.
And he's got the angle. It's like, we will have the supernatural, we will have the action, there will be comedy. Hate to say it, people, they can't recreate an 80s comedy. It'll just... It won't work.
This isn't the 80s anymore. You can't make an 80s comedy. You can't even make an early 2000s comedy anymore. It just doesn't work.
It's going to run through the filter of the new director who was barely a kid when the first ones came out. Like, sorry. You know what? If this one was 5 years after Ghostbusters 2, I don't know. Complain your heart out, because maybe you got a point that how did this turn into a serious family thing when only 5 years ago it was two chuckle comedies. It's like, you can't. It's 35 years. There's too much time has passed, and we got to get reacclimated, and we got to deal with a lot of history.
And look at the best examples of films. In this particular, pop culture, if there's a pop music equivalent in movies, looking at these big tentpole films, the most successful ones are the ones that are not just feeding you the formula or giving you something that you've already seen. The most successful ones are ones that are like, hey, this is a heist movie and you just don't realize it. Or this is a political thriller. When people saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier, they're like, "I thought I was seeing a superhero movie, not All the President's Men." It's just like you have to kind of look at things through the lens of they're trying to just tell a good story, and of course, a good story has to build worlds and make you care about characters. And that's exactly what I get the sense from this film that they're trying to do.
Even before Ramis passed away, there was a 15-year period where any third movie, and they said it in every time they were asked in the press, was going to have to deal with the movie being about 4 guys who were old, right? It was already not going to be the same as the first two. Like it had, and that's like half the time we're talking about now, right? That's half the period of time has passed that they then have to kind of just deal with, right?
I wish I could remember Harold's quip where it was like, I can barely stand up, let alone throw that stupid thing on my back again. Or he had some sort of self-deprecating thing that was genius, and I can't remember now. But
remember, Aykroyd had the whole thing like he was gonna have one eye and a peg leg or something like that, right? Like
an eye patch, and exactly.
Even Murray's like, I don't know,
who wants to see us in geriatrics?